In its 3 seasons so far, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds has spotlighted every main character with an episode that can be considered a masterpiece. A prequel to Star Trek, the original series, Strange New Worlds will run for 5 seasons and a total of 46 episodes on Paramount+. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds brought back Star Trek's classic episodic format. Captain Christopher Pike's Anson Mount USS Enterprise is crewed by a mix of legacy characters, such as Lieutenant Spock, Ethan Peck, and new faces created for Strange New Worlds, like Lieutenant Lara Noonien Singh, Christina Chong. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 2 became more experimental. Strange New Worlds acclaimed comedic crossover with Star Trek: Lower Decks, and Star Trek's first musical episode opened new horizons. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 3 bet even harder on big swings, although the show's bold deep dives into TV genres divided audiences. With insightful writing and directing showcasing its infinitely talented cast, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds has allowed every character to shine. Here is each Starship Enterprise crew member's best episode so far. Captain Christopher Pike, A Quality of Mercy, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 1, Episode 10. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 1's finale was Captain Christopher Pike's finest hour. A reboot of Star Trek, the original series classic, Balance of Terror, A Quality of Mercy, saw Admiral Pike from a dark alternate future send Captain Pike into his reality to encounter the resurgent Romulans. A Quality of Mercy allowed Captain Pike to reconcile his unavoidable fate where he will be horribly disfigured in a tragic accident. Pike accepted his future and chose to make the most of the time he has left. Strange New World Season 1's ender underscored Captain Pike's nobility, compassion, and undaunting heroism. Lieutenant Commander Una Chinriley, Ad Astra per Aspera, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 2, Episode 2. Lieutenant Commander Una Chinriley is the centerpiece of Ad Astra per Aspera, an instant classic and one of the best Star Trek courtroom episodes ever. Placed on trial for lying about being a genetically engineered Illyrian, Number 1 is defended by her estranged childhood friend, attorney Nira Keetul, Yetide Badaki. Poignant and thought-provoking, Ad Astra per Aspera features resonant performances by Rebecca Romin and Yetide Badaki, as Una and Nira broach years of estrangement to powerfully question the United Federation of Planets' draconian stance on genetic engineering. Ad Astra per Aspera restored Number 1's agency by proudly living her truth. Lieutenant Spock, Charade's Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 2, Episode 5. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds' mission for Lieutenant Spock is to allow him to explore his human side in his younger years, setting up how he becomes the stoic Vulcan played by Leonard Nimoy in Star Trek, the original series. The genuinely funny Charades turns Spock fully human in a Vulcan comedy of manners, and allows Ethan Peck to play the Vulcan science officer like never before. Forced to meet the family of his fiancée, T'Pring, Gia Sandhu, the human Spock displays his love for his mother, Amanda Grayson, Mia Kirshner, and succumbs to his passionate attraction to nurse Christine Chappell, Jess Bush. With grace, humor, and insight, Charades shows new sides of Spock in arguably the best of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds' annual Vulcan comedy episodes. Lieutenant Lara Noonien Singh, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 2, Episode 3. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds plunged Lieutenant Lara Noonien Singh into a time travel romance that ends in heartbreak for the USS Enterprise's security chief. Tasked with restoring Star Trek's altered prime timeline, Lauren falls in love with an alternate reality captain James T. Kirk, Paul Wesley, during their mission in 21st century Toronto. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow is powered by the blazing chemistry between Christina Chong and Paul Wesley. Lauren's experience falling for and losing Kirk while saving time itself launched her character's growth to change her paradigm. Genuinely touching, funny, and poignant, Lauren's time travel love story is one of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds' best episodes. Nurse Christine Chappell, Through the Lens of Time, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 3, Episode 5. As Nurse Christine Chappell, Jess Bush is consistently a scene-stealing standout in Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. Through the Lens of Time, while not specifically about Chappell, still hinges on Christine's courage when she and her Starship Enterprise landing party are trapped in a dimensional prison on Vadia 9. Though the Lens of Time underscores Chappell's dedication to her friends and duty, especially in the face of her boyfriend, Dr. Roger Corbis, Killian O'Sullivan, relentless pursuit of archaeological discovery. Many Star Trek: Strange New Worlds episodes display Chappell's medical skills and romantic desires, but Through the Lens of Time truly hinges on Christine's strength of character. Ensign Nyota Uhura, Subspace Rhapsody, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 2, Episode 9. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds gave Ensign Nyota Uhura, Celia Rose Gooding, more backstory and motivation than Nichelle Nichols' Lieutenant Uhura ever got in Star Trek, the original series. Every building block for Uhura in Star Trek: Strange New Worlds brilliantly came together in Subspace Rhapsody. Star Trek's first ever musical episode defined Uhura's importance as the USS Enterprise's communications officer, and Nyota's singular ability to connect to her fellow crewmates. Subspace Rhapsody was also a showcase for Grammy winner Celia Rose Gooding's unmatched singing voice. Subspace Rhapsody is Uhura's true coming-out party. Lieutenant Erica Ortega's Terrarium, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 3, Episode 9. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds fans spent years clamoring for Lieutenant Erica Ortega's Melissa Navia to get an episode spotlighting the Starship Enterprise's hotshot pilot. Terrarium, one of the best episodes of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 3, delivered on all counts, as Ortega's is stranded on a planetoid with her worst nightmare, a Gorn. Terrarium is a masterclass of acting by Melissa Navia, who carried her episode as, essentially, a one-woman show. Ortega's ingenuity, will to survive, and capacity to forgive and see the best in her Gorn counterpart, who Erica befriends, shows not just the best of Erica, but is a model of what a Starfleet officer is meant to be. Dr. Joseph Mbenga, Under the Cloak of War, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 2, Episode 8. Possibly the darkest episode of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, Under the Cloak of War, is an unforgettable exploration of Dr. Joseph Mbenga's, Babs Olusanmoken, trauma from the Klingon War, and the price he continues to pay for his secret past as Starfleet's most deadly assassin. Babs Olusanmoken digs into the depths of Mbenga's damaged soul. Confronted with a literal ghost from his past, Klingon Ambassador Dakra, Robert Wisdom, Dr. Mbenga violates his highest principles and succumbs to his bloodlust for his mortal enemy. Mbenga murdering Dakra and covering it up is a stark ending to an episode that wades in the muck of Joseph's darkest deeds, and provocatively leaves the audience with no easy answers. Commander Pelia, Hegemony, Part 2, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 3, Episode 1. Introduced in Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 2's premiere, Commander